Okay, thanks, Tina.
Thank you very much.
It's 6 p.m. We're opening a special meeting of the Lake City Historic Preservation Commission. Let's have a roll call.
Judd,
Here.
Kenny,
Here.
Joe,
Here,
Mike, here.
okay. And we have
Jared is out.
a guest in person.
Yes.
And, Mike Paxton is online.
Right.
Okay, all we're dealing today is with 3 COA applications. The first one is COA 2026-11. Mike Paxton, are you saying something?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for the special session. I appreciate it.
Well, we wouldn't be having it if we hadn't had enough people for Judd's Judd's representing the Catholic Church from the last meeting. We have to do that. But thanks for getting all this stuff in. Did you all receive the email from Jared?
I did.
Okay. Jared is expressing some concerns. He's not here at the meeting tonight. But the main reason that we postponed it was because we wanted better visual representations of what the vision is for the facades that you were proposing, and a list of the materials that go into that facade. At this point, everybody has seen the new their AI image renditions. I know there's one difference, and that is the little roof on what was the title company is shown as shingles, and you are going to tell us it's metal, correct?
Correct.
But would you say the rest of that is a pretty accurate representation of what you're proposing here? Are there any changes to those images?
That's going to be a pretty accurate description, maybe a little more plain than that. The colors will be a little different. They're going to be more green colors. But yeah, basically the facade will be what I have shown you.
Well, when you say a little more plain, what do you mean?
Well, I think the frames around the windows will probably just be box frames. I know my wife gets a little crazy sometimes and adds embellishments, and so yeah, it's not going to be as embellished as some of those pictures.
Okay, I think some of Jared's concerns were about things like that, so that's actually a good thing to hear.
Right.
But why don't you just go through that list of, or the description of materials that are significant on the facade, and explain to us what, basically you're going to go through that last page that you sent to us.
Right. Yeah, it's basically the newel posts will just be a composite material. Could possibly be cedar, but I'm leaning towards composite material. Very nondescript. They're just going to be new.
The posts that go where?
So the newel posts are on the deck upstairs.
Okay.
Just in the corners, the corner pieces, and the balusters. And we would hopefully be able to add balusters, which would be a simple turn post. And that would be a composite or cedar material as well, most likely composite.
This is all going to be painted.
Yes, it would be painted. And what's there now is just kind of the, square 70s post that it has, it just looks like 1970s. The lap siding is the LP is just a higher grade of hardy board. So it's going to be a very high quality hardy board. It'll be an 8-inch wide piece with a wood grain. So that's pretty basic. That's what a lot of people are using these days, and it's a concrete wood composite that will last a lot longer and take the paint a lot better. The corbels, they'll just be a very simple, understated corbel, just to give some, kind of tie it into the town a little bit better. That should be a composite material as well.
The image that was sent to us subsequent to your first application, that would be a reasonable representation of what the courtroom would look like.
The first pictures, it was probably a little more embellished than that. I think this is just going to be a very simple, understated piece. I told our contractor.
The first things you sent were very ornate, and my
Yes.
comments were that's too much. You did send some images later of a much simpler corbel. I'm asking whether,
Yes, that will be more in line with what we are planning. Correct.
okay, I think that's probably about it. Is the proper name for that thing on top of cornice, or what is it?
I believe it is a cornice. That's what I'm calling it. That's I'm not sure if that's correct, but I think that is a cornice. Yes,
And it's constructed of what?
that will be a composite material as well. If it's not composite, it will be wood, and they'll make it. They'll hand make it.
Yeah, it's all pink.
Yes, it will all be painted. So we're
Any comments? Well, go
basically
ahead.
basically just taking the front of those plain buildings and adding a few architectural details to hopefully make it fit in a little bit better, and some nice color that will help it pop. That brown is just an ugly color. And I think with the new boardwalk, it would make a nice addition to that end of town.
Well, I've discussed this I asked Grant Houston, he's the president of the Historical Society here in White City. And I did have a chance to talk with Jared some. I'm not sure why he wasn't able to come to express these things, but I mean, the main issue is simply, and this comes especially from Grant, we don't really, and it's a fine line. We don't want buildings put in here that look like fake old buildings. And I think Jared's concern is that in his opinion, they look a little bit too much along that line.
Okay.
I don't have that big an issue with it because I think what you're doing is fairly simple. But that is one of the concerns we have to take up with regard to what kind of, and we look at this as new construction. I mean, this in a similar way to what we were looking at new construction. I mentioned at the last meeting that when these two facades went up in 1991, there was an effort by the owner, Bob Stegall, to somewhat represent the original Occidental Hotel building that was there. And that's why he ended up with vertical board and batten materials on. As you and I both discussed, especially that the old building, which they put, the 322 building was built in the 1977, but it was set back a little bit, and the facade wasn't put on until 1991, the same time that the other building was built. So that facade is a new thing. And as we looked on there, some of it is just plywood on the front there. And I think pretty much anything to improve the quality of that would be desirable. I think I've said enough. Comments from you folks, Dan?
Well, my opinion is, I think the addition, which looks really good, and if you look at the historical buildings from the park. If you look at their, they're very similar. I mean, it's in that text for sure for me. And I appreciate someone that is willing to I'm gonna work this right. And I'm gonna be in later on, so I got to put a full thing about. But it, to me, is we want the historical look. We don't want a castle when you have older buildings, but it looks absolutely amazing to me, acceptable. Another one too is I really appreciate someone that's wanting to work with us.
Okay, a professional historic preservation historian would reply to you, okay, it looks like the old buildings that are, well, right here along Silver Street. What you don't want to do is put in new buildings that look just like those buildings. So,
I want, okay, and Joe, let me tell you on this one too. And I'm not saying I'm nearly as knowledgeable as you are.
don't put me in there.
No. My point is, it's just like the guidelines with, there's no state guidelines. It's not like plumbing in LA.
And the state wants every town to have its different, separate guidelines. They don't want standards across the state.
That's, yeah, it is. Because in some areas could not afford other areas. Okay, I'm not disagreeing on that. But I am also saying, I ask individuals, a few years back, I'm sure it's different individuals now, but I would think the text would be still basic, is that they would prefer not audacious, and I'm not seeing anything audacious here, is versus to having flat, like the old time studio in the Wild Wild West. Be a lot cheaper than.
No, I'm not necessarily giving you my opinion. I'm telling you what a professional historian would probably say in this instance.
But so it depends on which historian that you were talking to.
That's true too. Yeah. I have one other comment, and that is just both in new construction and in if the owner of a non-contributing building here, this is built in the 90s, this was somebody's idea of something that would fit in back in the 90s. Now we have somebody that has a little bit different idea of something that would fit in, and I'm not sure it's the case here, but saying with the new fire codes and people having trouble with fire insurance for their places and things like that, if they want to upgrade the materials that are on that exterior of their building to follow those codes, we're dealing with hardy board and things like that. And we can't have an issue with that.
Right. Safety has to trump everything else.
Sure. Yeah, I do have a question. Mike, on the renderings relative to the current property, you've got divided lights in the windows. What are you guys intending to do on those? I mean, I know from the historical, or not say historical, but from some previous pictures, it looks like there may have been divided lights prior to that. You guys intend
Divided light. What do you mean divided lights? I'm not.
They're on your windows, those little cross hatches.
Oh, okay. The windows will remain the same. The windows will remain the same as they are now. My son did the renderings, and I think he was being creative.
Just curious.
Yes, the windows will remain the same. And if we need to replace any windows, they will just be the same type.
Okay, but if you are going to replace windows, you need to make that known.
I'm not planning on it, but you never know when you get into something. I'm definitely not planning on it. I would prefer not to. I'm spending enough as it is.
I saw that. Any further questions?
Mike, I also appreciate you investing in the community and making the street more vibrant. And I think it looks great. I think it's
Thank you.
in keeping with the character of the buildings just across the street. And but I don't think it matches them exactly. You know, I don't think it doesn't look like it's like we're going into a development like in Austin.
When can you expect this to be completed?
My contractor says within 4 to 6 weeks. We're starting on the interior next Monday. As a matter of fact, they're going to be ripping out flooring. We're pulling out cabinets. It's going to be a total renovation inside. So they're going to start that first. And he says 4 to 6 weeks. He's got a
Just
good
ask
crew.
that because we'll get an answer to how it looks in a couple months.
Yeah, absolutely. And the crew will be living in the title company while they're doing the work. So they'll be there full time, hopefully knocking it out.
Okay, if there's no further comments or questions, I think we're ready we need to make a motion here. And it needs to, because, I mean, the application itself did not include either the new visual representations or the list of materials and description of materials. The motion needs to say that, COA 2022-11, is that what this one is?
2026 dash.
2026.
Just need to be contingent.
The application is approved with the addition of the new visual representations and the list of materials and description.
I guess I'd like to make a motion on COA 2026-11, the application and its supplemental materials, including the renderings and little materials to move forward on an approval.
Seconded.
Okay, you got that written down good?
Yep.
You have to read it back now. Let's read it back and then we'll vote on it.
Read it back. Okay.
This is the motion we're going to vote on.
On the matter of COA 2026-11, changes to the front facades at 322 and 324 North Silver Street. Would like to have a vote.
No, that wasn't the motion.
Okay, what's the,
Okay, this is what
I have to
we,
repeat that, I have to repeat him verbatim?
yes. That's the point. Because this goes to History Colorado. They want to know what we're approving.
Okay.
They want to have some idea what we're approving. And they actually want to know why. So these things are supposed to say according to the guidelines and things like that on certain pages. That's what they want to see.
All right.
We're going to give them some of it here. The paperwork that we received, the formal application we received from them did not have all the information that was needed. That's why we postponed this thing.
Yes.
So we're approving the application that was received plus the additional materials
With the supplemental materials.
with the supplemental visual renditions and list and description of material. That's all we need to say.
Okay. So with the matter of COA 2026-11, 322 and 324 North Silver Street, changes to front facades. It's been proposed that we approve this motion contingent upon the addition of the supplemental materials being the visual representations and the list of materials. Did I? Help me out.
Well, we'll discuss this later. It's good enough for now. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second. let's have a roll call vote.
Joe,
You query the chair last in case there's a tie to be broken.
Kenny,
Approved.
Judd,
Yes.
Mike, yes. Joe,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're all learning new things here. Thanks a lot, Mike, and thank you very much for getting that stuff in. All that stuff will go to Gabe. I'm glad to hear you've already talked with Gabe. He might say something specific to you about if you're making any structural changes to the porch up there. But he needs to know about all this, yeah.
Yes, he's been in contact with our contractor and my wife, and so yeah, we will definitely communicate with him.
Good, great. I will tomorrow sign this thing in the town office and they will send it to you. They will email it to you. You need to sign it and scan it and send it back.
Okay.
And then it goes to Gabe.
All right, will do.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Okay, I think since Derek is here, let's move his up and we'll be able to hear
Yes,
some.
yeah. No, it's definitely.
Got time.
But you got more time.
You know,
It's my day off.
we don't need to waste,
my age. You got.
we don't need to waste your time.
Yeah, that's it. Kid is good.
Okay. This is, COA 2026-13. Derek has asked for a change in the configuration of the windows that were approved on the new residency. He has the original idea and what the design guidelines asked for is a vertical orientation of windows. Tell us what and you don't need to go into explanation, just why or anything.
Just, they're just, the short window, I'm just wanting to make them 12 inches shorter, so they're on 6 foot. Cost wise, it's not changing anything. It's the same cost both ways. Just trying to make it so we can actually open the windows. Puts them a little bit higher off the ground. Right
But
there.
this makes the overall thing square instead of,
It makes the frame,
makes the frame
it
square.
makes the frame square of the 2 windows. Does that make sense? So each.
Well, it showed up pretty good in that thing.
Each window is about 2 foot, 10 inches wide by 5 foot. So there's still 2 separate windows there. They're just one big frame. And that's what I mean. So
The only suggestion that I've gotten in discussion with Jared and others is to maintain a vertical orientation is to have a little separation between the windows. You can ask him how complicated that is, but that was. Okay, no, I want to hear your comment on that. Yeah. But then you're looking at, you're getting towards 2 separate vertical windows rather than a square orientation of the window open.
Colleague Jared, which I have great respect for, is, in my opinion, the new proposal is aesthetically more pleasing. And the other thing is
More pleasing,
more pleasing.
it doesn't, well, see, that's an aesthetic, that's not what we're dealing with.
You're right, okay. Good point. The other one is, that what I'm saying is that, I don't, when you're saying the separation of windows or multiple windows,
it wasn't a 2x4. I think what Joe's talking about is he's wanting a 2x4 separation in there, and that's just another.
I know what you're saying, but I mean, I don't see okay, the expenditure and what's going on is having a 2x4 separation, because this, the structure doesn't matter on our end, but I don't,
So the question is, the whole idea is to maintain vertical orientation on windows rather than square. Um, uh, and would that go more towards that vertical orientation, or would it not? I mean, depending on how it's made, you'd end up with a rectangle if it looked like that whole window opening with it more template, you make it more of a rectangle than a square. So I'm not sure. But the idea here is we're changing what was agreed on based on the guidelines, the whole proportions of the windows here were originally put in as abiding by the guidelines and maintaining vertically oriented window openings.
Joe, I'll make the statement. I live on the same block as Derek. I've got square windows. I mean, you know, and I'm not in a non-contributing house. So I think there's precedence for it.
And it's, there's several
They're the
houses
same
in
block.
the historic district that have more square. That's not the right word. There's numerous houses, including historic homes in the district.
Okay,
that
this is
have-
fine. This
have-
is where I would see this going. I'm bringing up comments that have been made.
Understood.
Is this the
He
rear
knows
perspective?
my first reaction.
Well,
And we won't bring it up.
in a way here, the only thing I'm changing is like this right here. If you take this window out and make this the wall, that's a square. But it's two separate windows and they both look long and tall.
No, I give my own personal opinion on this last. I don't have an issue with this change.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion based on other properties in the district with similar, I'd say, proportional design for COA.
That's,
All right, I'd like to make a motion that it's appropriate based on the guidelines, COA 2026-13, to move forward with a vote for approval.
that's not in the motion. Just make the motion.
All right, I'd like to make a motion on COA 2026-13.
To approve as
To
proposed.
approve as proposed.
So we're
Changes to the
including that
windows.
image in it? Okay,
Yes.
that's all we need.
Okay.
I think that one's pretty clear, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. So in the matter of COA 2026-13, changes to the front windows,
Changing window configuration, yeah.
change in window
Is
configuration
approved as proposed.
is approved as proposed.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote on it. Give us a roll call vote and ask me last.
Got it. Kenny,
Approved. Yes,
Mike, yes,
yes.
approved.
Okay, thanks a lot, Derek. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Go. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Good luck getting all that done.
Oh, $15,000 of windows tomorrow. Gentlemen, have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, COA 2026-12. The addition of outbuilding, solar restroom at the Catholic Church. Who was the subcommittee?
Subcommittee was Kenny Howard and Jared Boyd. We went, we need to state the date of, it's in my report. Submitted a report relative to meeting with the applicant at the church. We reviewed the site where the placement of the building will be next to another building of similar proportion. The materials that based on what was submitted with the application are as represented, when we met for the review. So.
Well, you guys asked apparently for additional
Which
images
which
of-
was supplied,
materials, which we got.
doors as well as siding and such.
What was the main thing about, why was that asked for?
Well, it wasn't in the original application. That was it. Right, so to ensure that we have completeness of the application, we had a good view of the materials that will be used. Those were requested as a follow-up to the field visit.
Okay, those will go with the other paperwork.
Right, so when we make the motion, we will include those in the motion that we may eventually make here.
Any questions or comments? Oh, yeah, you're not supposed to be here. I'm sorry.
You have recused yourself.
Well, I am,
You are the applicant
okay,
now.
okay, and you are correct. Okay.
You
I
can,
didn't hear late, I want to throw in request to we said stem it and one door because of the solar and lighting is the addition of above the door height, which is, we're talking about 10 foot. Is above the door is having 1 by 2 fixed window light. 2 of them will be molded together. From a 4 foot on 1 foot. Above, it'll be between the peak and the door. With the structural component that's on the visual. Right, and if we need to, I know that I've been this. And the reason of that change is lighting, because previously one of the panels on the north side, because of solar, clear light, this is shed. Is, and this would give natural lighting.
yeah, I'm a little bit confused because in the original application, your statement to me was that there wouldn't be any windows.
That's correct, and and you are exactly right, and this all record, you are exactly right. What these are, it would be a window or a light, they're fixed. But the reason is for the natural light, because that's when the individuals, that's when occupancy would be used. And it's for a health, safety precaution.
Okay, is this in the application materials
No,
now?
it was not, because this has come up since, it's like, no, it has not. And if we need to put it with another or something, Joe, I'm not.
Okay, let me just be clear. Okay, is this in any of the application materials that we have
It
already?
is not.
Okay, then in the motion has to be included a clear statement that we're approving this window also.
And I will step out before the vote, okay?
Yeah.
And I appreciate you, Lady B. The reason Erin's not here, Kevin, is that, she's in Washington DC representing the, no, I'm just
It's
letting you know.
immaterial.
Well, no, we didn't. It's, I think it's important about where it's not ramrod anything. And I'm not, okay. That's the reason she's not here.
Okay.
Okay. To me, it's important.
Okay.
And,
Joe, we talking about a window just above that door right there.
no, we're talking about it'd be above the door, but aesthetically is right through there.
Okay,
And it,
centered under the,
yes, above, yes. And it's a
Vertical or horizontally?
horizontal, one back, it's 1 foot.
by 4.
About 4, but there's 2 of them.
Where is it?
Okay. Well, centered here, 2 foot, and it may be just 1 foot by 2 foot because of make sure that for structural part. The maximum would be 1 foot by 2 pieces, 4 foot with a plug in between. There wouldn't be any, basically this is the window. Max would be, this is 1 foot, this is 2 foot, so the drawing's screwed up. But what I'm saying like this, but with as small as it is, it'll probably be just one. And, for it to fit, it's gonna be, after looking at the drawings, it'll be 1 foot, 12 inches by 2 foot. It'll be right here and also right here. And the reason on both sides is for lighting. It won't be ventilation, which doesn't matter, but like fixed. And if you want a grid, I can get a grid in there, but at 1 foot, you're talking about a 6-inch grid, which has no effect on if the aesthetics, if somebody likes that, it's fine. And the total purpose is for natural lighting.
I understand what it's for. It's similar, somewhat similar to what goes in the new bathroom and it's part, which again, we discussed this with Lex about this. It goes against what they're asked for, the design guidelines and window orientation and so on. Which has to be made known, but given the purpose of that, it's not a window for a visual thing, it's just for light. I think it's acceptable.
I'm gonna get out of here, don't they? Yes, all I'm taking is, I've done a very poor job.
So Judd is recusing himself as,
And I do want this on the record, because this is really important for future. Okay,
what on record?
it's all recorded. It's okay, that's the record.
Yeah.
Is I personally checked when I was the town trustee with the town attorney and with the state attorney, different individuals. Because being on in Blue Spruce, there were materials being purchased. I didn't want to jeopardize my business nor my vote on being not accepted. Those individuals, and neither one are still present, not a few years back, but both of them agreed that, and this is what they told me, is they said that as long, and it was, should be somewhere in the files there, actually, because I was that concerned, is that it says, as long as you or your relatives do not get a financial gain from your vote, you are required to vote. I want to say this last thing, and this is between you three and on the record for anybody who wants to listen. The importance that was to protect myself and my family. But the other one was, I'm not mentioning names, it was an individual, when it was a controversial vote, they always said, I abstain, right, which is not right. And I just, this is important to me, it's kind of my reputation.
Okay, well, the question would come up more, it'd be more relevant if somebody other than you had submitted this out.
I know, and the thing too is, I've learned a lot on this.
Yeah.
Since I've been here in this short time, too.
Okay. We'll bring you back in and I'm gonna. Okay, any now secret comments that you're waiting for?
I'm a little confused, but by the window thing, but
In what way? It's something I don't understand. He should have said something to us prior to bringing it up.
Yeah, I'd like to see an updated picture. Like I can mentally, think about where it's placed, but
I mean, we can say in this that contingent on receiving a,
I think I'd like to do that if we're going to move forward. I think the purpose of what it is, it would be good to see the church, have the usage of the facility. I think is the key item. Generally speaking, prior to this addition, I would have, said, hey, otherwise approve based on it. Still willing to do that based on contingency of receiving updated drawings. Or, do it within the next, say, 5 business days or whatever
Whatever you want to do, make the motion and we'll see whether it gets accepted.
all right. Well, I'm making all the motions today. As the
You're a good
subcommittee,
motion
as the subcommittee, chair for this one, am I still allowed to make the motion?
Sure.
Okay. On the matter of COA 2026 for the Catholic Church, I believe it's at
2026-12.
12. I believe the street address is 100 South Silver
We don't need
Street.
all that.
Okay, the Catholic Church, application COA 2026-12 for the addition of an outbuilding at the Catholic Church. I'd like to make a motion. Vote on the application as submitted plus. Sorry. Pardon? Yeah. All right, let's see. We've on the motion or on the matter of.
I propose a motion to, for COA 2026-12, a new solar outbuilding at the Catholic Church. I propose that we approve as proposed, contingent on receiving a updated drawing of the elevation that has the new the window that's in this.
Second that motion.
I can't make motion.
You want me to say that? Okay, I got
Something like that.
That's fine, that's fine. On the matter of COA 2026-12 for the addition of an outbuilding at the Catholic Church, I'd like to make a motion to approve contingent upon receiving the updated building elevations with the proposed windows stated by the applicant.
Okay. It should say that it's a solar outhouse.
And the building's usage will be as a solar outhouse.
You make that into,
In the matter of COA.
remember in all this, and we'll discuss this later, but this is going to History Colorado. They want to know what we're approving. It's more than just an outbuilding, it's a solar outhouse. They just want to.
Shall I make the motion again? I'm happy to do that.
Go ahead.
Okay. On the motion, on the matter of COA 2026-12 for the outbuilding at the Catholic Church, I would like to make, that's being used as a solar restroom. I would like to make a motion to approve the application contingent upon receipt of the supplemental materials detailing the elevations with the windows as proposed by the applicant.
There's just one window.
I'd like to see drawings. It's contingent upon the window.
Let me give my opinion of all
Maybe
this.
I'm not entirely
Let me
clear
give you
on
my
what
opinion
I'm
on this.
from
We can't really approve things that we haven't seen yet, so we don't want to
That's fair.
indicate that that's what's going on. I mean, we've visually understand. So we have to describe that there's a new window above the door. And I think this is the best, that's our understanding of where it is, right?
Yes. Well, it's not above the door. It's centered. It's
Or it's centered. I didn't know.
It's centered under the above at a height that is above the door. I mean, since it's a restroom, I'm sure they want to make it high enough to where nobody can peek in.
Well, they won't put
It's just
peekable glass in there, I assume. They'll put frosted glass in there. So, to a certain extent, it could go anywhere. It's going to have frosted glass. I mean, we could be very strict and say, no, in this historic district, we wanted to have this kind of orientation. But I think I would be a little more flexible with that and agree to have it where it's saying.
I can get this reading of the motion, right?
We might be able to-
No, look,
It's not easy.
no, this is not easy, and I don't like that he waited till now to bring this up. Because now is when we have to figure out how to deal with it, if we're gonna deal with it now. Otherwise, I'm not gonna make another special meeting. Otherwise, it waits until, July.
But we can approve it contingent upon receiving.
Well, we can approve it with a window. And we have to describe it a little bit where this window is. And approve it upon receipt of, I don't know which elevation, whether it's east, south, north, or west, but of the elevation with the door. I think it might be the best way to describe it.
It's the east side.
It's okay. Well, then we just say contingent on receiving a drawing of the east elevation with the newly proposed window in it.
Yeah, see if I can get this all straight.
So I'm not going to sign I'm not going to sign this thing until
Okay, that's fair.
we receive that. And so the motion needs to indicate that that's what's going to happen.
All right, that's fair. All right, so on the matter of COA 2026-12 for the addition of an outbuilding at the Catholic Church, I'd like to make a motion.
You still need to say it's not just an outbuilding, it's a solar outhouse. We said not an outhouse, but a solar
That's
outhouse.
fine. On the matter of COA
You don't need to
2026.
say on the map.
All right, thank you. Thank you. For COA 2026-12, I'd like to make a motion to approve the outbuilding that's intended use is a solar powered outhouse as proposed by the applicant with a contingency on receiving an updated drawing with the window above the door area that the applicant has indicated that they would like for light
On the east elevation.
on the east elevation.
You see, we all need to think,
This is one.
practicing
Make sure.
on making these things as concise as possible. And one of the reasons that we have the subcommittee do this, and when they make their recommendation, that recommendation should be a model of what the motion might look like.
Okay,
That's what you aim for in what comes out of the end result of the subcommittee evaluation and so on. That's the idea.
Okay.
But let me take care a second to try to make this as concise as possible. But all we're looking for is a motion
on property, for the restroom.
to make a motion to approve COA 2026-12, a new solar outhouse, solar restroom outbuilding at the Catholic Church. Contingent on receiving a new visual rendition of the east elevation with the newly proposed window drawing.
I would like to make a motion on application COA 2026-12 at 100 Silver Street, the Catholic Church, for a new standalone solar restroom. I'd like, it'll be contingent upon receiving the updated drawing with the proposed window. And it faces the east side of the building. Based on the
Just saying
applicant's
that
description.
east elevation.
Look, I've already said it, so let's just move on. Let's go ahead and ratify the motion. Unless it needs more. If not, then write it out and I'll read it as is. How about that? Does anybody second the motion?
Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion that you're gonna end up writing down. We should be reading it back. I think everybody here knows.
Give me a
what-
minute.
Okay.
Maybe 2 minutes.
Historians will see that history is messy. We all need to realize that.
All I'm trying to do is, I realize this goes to the state, they
Yeah.
review it, it goes to nowadays, the federal government doesn't look at this kind of stuff much. But it goes to the federal government. They don't want to just see, we approve.
So here's what I think we should, coming off the back of this, what we're going to take is I'm having to sit and working with draft what's called form script that has the blanks.
No, that's fine. You'll see there'll be a lot of variations.
I get that, but at least the front end of it, it would be, well,
You were here when Lindsay was here.
yeah.
She stated what they want to see in the motions is a clear description of what it is we're approving and why.
Yeah, no, I guess I get that. I think
This is-
capturing all the verbals that came from a description of somebody's property and the expectation of repeating that back, I think we could say, you're right, we could say, hold it, bring it back with a reapplication of the next one. And then it becomes an easier recitation.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's why we want things on paper before we
I
get to a meeting.
completely understand why you want it on paper and record it. So no dissent on that. It's the
Yes, I'll just,
Give it a go.
Give it a go, let's go.
like
Here's Kenny's motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve COA 2026-12 for a new standalone solar restroom contingent upon receiving a revised elevation to include a window above the door centered under the east eave.
Once more.
I'd like to make a motion to approve COA 2026-12 for a new standalone restroom
At the Catholic Church.
Next time I get paper.
I'd like to make a motion to approve COA 2026-12 for a new standalone restroom at the Catholic Church, contingent upon receiving a revised elevation to include a window above the door centered under the east eave.
A revised east elevation. You didn't put east in there. Or not what you read to me.
Yeah, I said under the east eave, but yeah,
Yeah.
east elevation.
Oh, okay. So the contingent on receiving a rendition of that, is that what you're saying?
And a revised elevation.
Revised rendition or drawing or something like that.
Yeah, that's what an elevation is, isn't it? Okay.
Well, I don't think that's clear. Yeah.
Okay. Well, would it be clear to say an elevation drawing?
Yeah.
You want to put a time frame on it?
No,
Within 5
put it in
days.
whatever they want.
Okay.
But it's not gonna get approved till they give it to us.
One more time. I'd like to make a motion to approve COA 2026-12 for a new standalone restroom at the Catholic Church, standalone solar restroom at the Catholic Church, contingent upon receiving a revised east elevation drawing to include a window above the door centered under the east eave.
Sounds good.
You can I make the motion? So, because
I made a motion, now you get the roll call.
Who seconded it?
And he's last.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any last,
Wishes? No.
let's have a roll call vote.
Roll call to approve motion. Roll call to approve COA 2026-12 for a new standalone solar restroom at the Catholic Church, contingent upon receiving a revised east elevation to include a window above the door centered under the east eave. east elevation drawing. This is a puzzle. All right, I'm gonna try this one more time, or you can kill me.
No, you already read it. Just, let's have a vote. Let's vote on this.
All right, Kenny, Mike, approve. Joe,
So we have our three, you have to have three votes to approve.
Yep. that was epic.
We'll need to do the close meeting.
Let's see if he went home.
That's the stuff. Oh, no.
Is his truck here? Well, let me close the meeting.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, it is, 6:56 PM.
Joe, you can ride your bike over past and around.
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. It's, 6:56 PM and I formally close the Lake City Historic Preservation Special Meeting on. Okay, I stopped recording. What are you gonna say to that?
I was gonna say, if we
Yeah, yes, first.